So going live again for the Kickstarter for Unicorn Melee 2 Man Eaters. Currently at about, I guess that's 34% of the goal of 1,000. We got 38 days to go. And if you want to back this book, it's a fantasy story. It's a follow-up to the Unicorn Melee Volume 1, which you can also get. Um, Most of the tiers of rewards here, either the digital or the hard copy. Um, And yeah, you can come check it out. The link's in the description below if you want to take a look at the campaign. But today we're going to go back to those some of those pages we were working on, um, and just take a look. Don't really want to give a bunch of spoilers away. So again, I'm kind of doing some pages that are a bit ahead of the story. Maybe just one or two pages, and then I think we're going to move over to a different comic. But just so you guys can get some insight into the process of making comics. Um, Let me actually take a moment, um, take a moment to get the link to share um, with people so that so they can tune in. Right. So yeah, so this is the campaign. I'm going to share with you guys exactly what we're working on. I'm going to go here. This is where we left off last time with this page. So let's just finish lettering up this page. Like I said, I think I had it here. I switch it over to here. I switched it over to here. I felt like that looked right. This was just a little too close to the page, not like to the edge to have the blocks come out here. So you get here and then you get to see who's saying it. This kind of hoity-toity type dude. Um, but let's go ahead and start working these letters. So we're on page 16. And again, like I said, I'm trying to just pick some of the non-spoiler-esque pages for you guys. Let's see, kind of like allows itself in. So we're going to go texting. Let's do this. Okay. Uh, Font is going to be ace auxiliary. It's down to about 8. Go here. Actually, we can do 2 letters on this line. We'll just do 2 lines. I think it's going to look better. Then here, center. But like, I'm just putting these together. Like I said, actually the print version may be different. I'm just kind of showing you guys a bit of the process. And obviously he's asking a question. So we change that to a question mark. Where is the wrong? He kind of like just barges in. Shad's like, kind of like it's with that. So he's taking them back. Shad, again, like I said, I kind of give the main characters their own fonts. And for Shad's. Okay, Shad's. Let's see. Not better. Chad gets the crime fighter font, which is so large a font. Should so I can knock this down to maybe a 7. I'll go, hey, got on one line because it's like the initial. I'll do 3, 2, and 1. Uh, uh, yeah, 3, 2, and 1. That works. You notice I don't do really I kind of, let's see, we'll put this here. Let's see if that works. So that works far better than I thought it was going to work. Like I said, I'm not going to add the tails. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to finalize this way, but that's why I usually like to. I put the tails in here last time to show you guys kind of, kind of how it works. But for now, I'm just doing the spaces, kind of got everything here. This is not going to need to be anywhere near this large of a balloon for what he's saying, and then that's actually better because then I can just do a arrow here without blocking it, and then we obviously see him then in here. And see, I wanted to kind of put a balloon here, but so like one of the taboos of comic book making in general is when two characters are speaking to each other, you do your best to not put word balloons in between them because it kind of breaks it up. Kind of takes away that feel that they're having a conversation. Not to say that it can't be done. So like you would probably try to go like up here and then down here, right? Same thing. Like I wouldn't want to put anything here. And that's kind of how it works. But we're gonna go here with Chad. You know, says says stop. Ah, kind of thing. Let's do this. Put it all on one. That works. Like that. Zoom in. Helps like getting everything just centered. So I'm kind of going for this kind of wonky, like somebody had a inky pen on these water balloons of this big. Uh, I mean, obviously digital, it's going to be however you zoom. But that is the one positive, even though comics are definitely read better, the physical versions. This is why on a campaign, I would suggest you do a tier with the physical versions because I just think comics are better that way. But the one advantage to digital comics is you can really kind of zoom in and really check if you want to know how good the art is, just zoom in on digital comics. You know what I mean? And you can get all these little details, like you know. But back to it, said stop. And so he actually has a lot of dialogue here. And then Rami comes in. So I'm wondering if I go here with it, right? We'll see. I'm gonna try to fit the dialogue into the balloon and then see where it works at. If I could go here, I'm thinking here. But for now, see what I can fit. Well, not a lot of dialogue, but I don't really do a lot of like pontification. My characters don't pontificate very much. I try to. let the action kind of speak, and then just kind of have things as people would say them in real life as much as possible. Obviously, you can't do real life dialogue in fiction because the way people talk in real life just doesn't work for entertainment purposes. But people talk all over each other and they paraphrase, and sometimes they just make like a noise, right? Like when you see your homies and you go, you're like, you know what I mean? Like you don't put that in a comment, right? They're gonna say like hello or hi or what's up or something. Um, anyway, so we go here, boom. This is him. And so what we're trying to get to with this size 7, I don't think I'm willing to go any smaller than size 7 on the font. So everything less, I think, would be a little, just be too small. Like I said, I generally like to keep my lettering at a decent size. Don't want people squinting. If it's if there's so much to say, so this is actually gonna have to go here because if I put it here, it's not really gonna work. And then there's just this tension. So I'm gonna do something maybe to just add this tension. And I think I know what I'm gonna do there. Show you guys. Um, and again, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see the script that I'm working off of here. Let's see. Yeah, so that works. So again, just trying to set the tone of the type of dude this is. From this is his first introduction into the story. So you guys can see that. This is my demanding audience bursting in the shed. Right, one of my way scruffy. I have a message for Rami from the king and escape. So it's going to be a message for Rami, comma from the king. Um, so also just trying to make a note or like the implication that obviously he knows the man by name, so he's familiar with him. Um, and what king, right? We'll get into that. So now here we have this. I could just leave. I think the artist did a really good job, right? It's kind of like a stare down. I'm not moving, and I'm not, you know, I'm going to keep going until I find Rami. Kind of like they had that. So I'm thinking maybe just like a nice little exclamation mark, right? Gonna pick, um, I guess I'll go standard for the font that I usually use for these type of things. We'll make it kind of big here, right? And we'll give it a white. Actually, I'm thinking we'll go red. We're gonna give it a red outline here, just like that. Slide it over, and then it's kind of something like that. I think that works. I don't know. Maybe a distortion of some sort might be at hand. Get a little skinnier, maybe. That doesn't work. That's not good. Uh, maybe wider. So, I'm trying to line these things up. Dobby likes to fight you. There we go. I think with that subtle difference, I think doing something like this kind of brings it that down, adds a little element to it. And then we got Rami. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to change Romy's dialogue, but I'll put in what I have for now, because I don't know if it's gonna work. That's definitely back down to like a size, we'll go size 8 for what Ronnie's saying. And Evil Genius, Ronnie it's the Evil Genius font. Got get the hell out. I say this, and I'm going to move. Then, so this is kind of done, right? The next day, which the next day from what? Gotta pick the book up. See, I don't really want to go back pages. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid spoilers. It's a pretty simple page introduction character. And without giving away too much of the story, give away some of the story, but that's kind of in the synopsis. And like, maybe I'll zoom out and just look like bird's eye view of how it looks, and I'm digging it. So that works. Uh, yeah. So we go to the next page, and 16. So the next would be 17 here. So as I thought, about to show you guys, but as I thought, I think I'm gonna have to have him finish his sentence. So the next page, we gotta resize. Like I said, you can do the lettering like at this size and then bring it back down, but then you get some wonky font sizes, and that's no good. So 7 inches by 10.5. That's the printing specs. I don't know if that's stuck. Let's see. Yep, it did. Yeah. Turns it converts it back to pixels after I type in, which is one of the new versions. It's interesting, Adobe. I miss the days like some people are lucky. My gripe with Adobe is like back in the day you could buy the software, right? Um, like you go to Best Buy or Radio Shack, Radio Shack. I ain't been in business in a minute, but honestly, probably as recent up to like 2012, you would just buy, you would purchase the software and you would have it. Like Microsoft Word and all that used to be. Now everything's subscription based. So shout out to the people who are still working on their who did that and actually still own the software instead of having to pay monthly or whatever. Um, you know, they kind of got away from that. I guess obviously there's probably not as much money into it. You make people pay yearly versus charging them 350 flat and they have it forever. So shout out to the people that still have the old, because the older version obviously it looks old, because I know people that work on it. The older versions of these Adobe suites, but there hasn't really been, if you're doing things yourself, honestly, there's no real changes. The only changes is like they're gonna miss out on like things that they're never going to use really, because it's like what do you get, AI art options and some other things, but for the sake of comics, if you're using Adobe Illustrator and doing lettering, there's nothing new that they're adding that helps you. So if you have the older version, people just use the older version forever. A lot of people have been using the same like using the 90s version, because you're just making word balloons and adding stuff. But back to it, like I said, I think he's gonna have to say something different, right? And I think what I'll do, right? Because right now, like he's kind of like mid sentence here. And that just doesn't work. So this is gonna get the hell out of my house. What's happening to finish your sentence? I mean, it's not too big a change. I think initially I meant for this man to cut him off. Um, when I initially wrote it, so like sometimes the artist will do something a little different, right? So initially the transition would have been something like from here right to this where he's kind of knocking the crossbow down, like he's not scared at all, like please. Um, but um, but now we have this panel, so which is fine because then I can add some dialogue because I want to make it clear that these two people are actually familiar with each other in a way, and they're not friends by any means. So I'm going to change this to house, and how I'll do it is I bring out back to the second line, and I'll do that. And I didn't even have to change the size of the balloon. So that's nice. So that page is now good. So we've got the fancy man. So where's my balloons? Go back to my balloons. Got this second layer. Show again. Now this is a little tricky again because remember I mentioned that you don't really want anything in between, and that actually might work because this is the focus here. So it's still like, I guess as an example, I'll just do like a little line. Oh, wait, Control C. Oops, not that. Like if I drew like a line, right? This is kind of an eye line. Like here. Oh, if I go like here, right? This is kind of a sight line right here. So I could put, and I probably will put a piece of dialogue up there because it's not really breaking it off, but I don't think I could put necessarily anything below that. So I got to think about where I want to put the dialogue for this page. So like sometimes a panel needs dialogue and sometimes it really doesn't need dialogue. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. Do we have, I guess an example is like here. I mean, this is just motion, but it's kind of just casual internet of I'm tired. You go open the door and then he just barged in anyway. So it's like, what the hell? Um, but this needs something. And initially, how it was written, that's not um, technically how it plays out. So, but then it's like I got to figure out, right? Because it's like, where do I put it without breaking up? Like I said, breaking that silhouette up. But I actually think this might work up here. And then if he definitely has, so I actually put, let's go here first. If he has dialogue here, put that there. And then I can do two here. And if it doesn't work, so this works here. Again, we have to think about the trim, cutting it close with the trim here, right? So now we're not breaking this up, and then I can put this way low and kind of just overlap. And see, but this is the thing too, right? Like some people, most people reading the story aren't going to care about some of this stuff, but like just the little details on the clothes that the artist put, you know what I mean? It really kind of brings things to life. It's not really noticeable. So this works, right? I like this layout for these word balloons. I don't really have what they're going to say here because initially there wasn't any dialogue. So I do know what he's going to say here and here, though. So let's do that first, and then we'll see what works. I have Romney say, give me, you know, What is he gonna say? Maybe he says something first here. I'm gonna bring this down to Rami here. Right. So we're still out of that sight line that I drew where it kind of like goes here, right? So now it doesn't really break it up as much. Like if I obviously put something here and it's like, yeah, what's the point? I think we'll go here because I want him to say something and Rami then him to say something, right? Because, you know, one of the things that I feel like you got to be careful with comics too is having a person speaking back to back panels because then it's like, why wouldn't you just have them say that on all in the panel they were just in? Sometimes you can't fit it. There's no hard rule to that, but that's kind of the idea. So, okay. So I think that works. And then, so he's basically just going to say like um, something rude, obviously. I think I'm going to put something like, what would he say to Rami? He would say something like, just as far Derek as expected. I think that works. So, right, just as barbaric as expected. I think that works. Um, size 8. And then if that works, and then obviously, right, I'm trying to breed some familiarity with the reader that these two people are familiar. So Rami's going to say a lot here. Well, not really a lot, but a lot for comics. Like some people have 4 or 5 sentences in a dialogue box. I usually don't write that way. Find that to be a bit excessive. Now, I get it. Sometimes you got to explain something and you want to explain it a certain way, like through dialogue or something like that. Um, but yeah, so here we got Rami, his dialogue. So text, copy paste. Like I said, he says it's a good bit here. So whoa, 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 whoa. Just just for update, the first 11, no, the first 12 pages are actually fully lettered. So I really got to just kind of knock out. So we'll keep blast on this line. So I'm really just trying to knock out the last bit. This should move that down. There we go. Size 7. So now his dialog box needs to be a lot bigger. Concerned about that. Let's see. Works. That works. And then it takes you right into this one. So I think that's that. So it's basically just as barbaric as expected. And then he's like, well, I see you're still rude as ever. I'd have blessed you for how things went down last time we met. So just letting the reader know that these two people are familiar with each other. They don't like each other. Um, but we get into how they kind of a bit of how, not necessarily how they know each other, but, you know, why they're meeting if they don't like each other, you know, over these next dialogue box. So let's go back. Yeah. But I actually really kind of like this character. Like I don't like him. Like it's like, you know, it's like a love to hate the character. But I'm probably gonna do these next couple and then give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek for ETA issue 4, which will be going up. It's been delayed, but finally ready, just about ready to go up. Um, just about there. It'll definitely be up before the end of the week for digital downloads. I'm gonna put this up, and then I'm gonna call it one because the baby is calling in the background. So this is terrible. Yeah, I agree. Well, then we got to change that dialogue. It's a little too short. So I said here, because threatening is such a long word, we can put that and move this. Still don't like it because this is still too short. See, that threatening is killing me. Gotta take, I will do it. I still don't like it because these are all the exact same. Maybe I add this threatening. There we go. That's better to me. This is that changes font to yes. I hear you, little baby. I hear you. It's down to a 7. Let's see what we got. Put it here. Okay. So take this. Zoom in. Shrink it down. Also, you guys will probably catch me live later today playing Aliens Fire Team. Um, Surprisingly, I think the game came out about 2 years ago. I still got a lot of replay value because it's so freaking hard. Um, but yeah, here we go. Oh, that's not gonna work, right? Way too big. So we're gonna cut his dialogue. So I'm gonna put that in one. So I don't think we need this. I won't have the likes of you threatening me. We're just gonna get right to it, right? There we go. Way better. And that's kind of the editing process, right? So maybe I had a little excess dialogue that was unnecessary. I mean, good because it kind of builds context into who this guy is. You know, you can get a lot about what people say. And story, um, as far as who the character is, but sometimes it just doesn't fit. It's like a song that you made that's 5 minutes long that you want to play it on the radio. So we've got this font at size 7, so let's zoom in. I just got to shorten these sentences so that everything fits. Because like you see, I have room to go here, but not expand out this way. So put everything in that way. Right? Right, y'all, I'm gonna call it one because gotta take care of the kiddo. Till next time, I'll probably be back on tomorrow.